Many of you are proudly celebrating your culture and heritage today, but the vice-rector for Social Impact, Transformation and Personnel at Stellenbosch University argues we should also use the day to celebrate what he terms our hybridity. Professor Nico Koopman says we're more than just one thing. In an article in the Daily Maverick, Koopman says embracing hybridity will help people unite and understand each other through their differences. Let's speak to him about this as he joins me via Zoom. Good morning, Professor. Thanks very much for your time on this Heritage Day. So first off, hybridity implies both sameness and difference. So why do you use this term specifically to describe South Africans?
South Africa is really a country of diversity, and it is always a challenge to find ways to celebrate our diversity and to embrace our diversity. And I think hybridity, the notion of hybridity can help us going forward. So hybridity was originally used to refer to mixture of plant species, mixture of animal species. But the way I would like to use it is the way that it is being used now for decades in the social sciences, namely to say hybridity might refer to the mingling of people from different backgrounds, different perspectives, different cultures, different opinions, and different worldviews even. So through our mingling with each other, our interaction, our life together, our participation in each other's lives, our communion with each other, something does happen to us. We are still the particular person, but we become more as well. And that more refers to the maximalistic identities with which we live. So that I can say, yes, people say I'm black, I'm colored, I'm Griqua, I'm Khoi, but through my mingling with my beloved from other color groups, my isiXhosa beloved, my white beloved, my Indian, Asian beloved, through that, I can say, okay, I'm the so-called colored or colored, but I'm also more. And it could mean that, you know, I'm heterosexual, but through my mingling, my hybridic living with my LGBTIQA plus beloved, I become also more. So you can continue. I have a maximalist, playful, embracing identity. And I think hybridity can help us with it.
Absolutely. Professor, I hear you repeatedly use the word beloved. And that's a very important distinction because in South African daily life, that seems to be lacking. I think very much partly because of the coronavirus pandemic and the economic pressures it's placed on people. The divide between South Africans is becoming bigger. So it's becoming more and more difficult to mingle with each other and to celebrate those differences because we're staring at this glaring social divide. How do we cross that?
Sure. And this is where I think the notion of hybridity can serve us. That it says you must intentionally work for unity that is unity in proximity. We must intentionally work towards mingling opportunities. I know we're speaking in this COVID time about social distancing. I personally would have preferred physical distancing because social distancing can easily become social alienation. It can easily become a threat to social solidarity and social cohesion. But we need to intentionally, at different institutions of society, also in different groupings, friends, family circles, create exposure opportunities where there's a diversity of people present. And in that presence, that proximity with each other, there we grow closer and there osmosis can take place. There we can see I become more and their embrace of each other can grow. So no, we must do it not only spontaneously, it becomes spontaneous later, but especially at the beginning, we must intentionally create together spaces.
Professor, so you are the vice-rector for Social Impact, Transformation and Personnel at Stellenbosch University. How do you experience and promote hybridity at Stellenbosch? And this is given the context of Stellenbosch being heralded as the last white outpost of higher education in our country not too long ago.
Yeah, I think one would really even like to invite people to say, come look at what we're trying to do in humble ways, how we create on different levels spaces of togetherness, not in perfect manner. In the years of our struggle against apartheid, as students, we used the phrase, colleagues, we must conscientize, we must organize, and we must mobilize. And conscientize had the meaning of we must become aware of the things that separate us. We must become aware of the injustices. So our work at Stellenbosch is to say, let's conscientize each other continuously about the explicit, but especially the implicit, the subconscious prejudices, discriminatory prejudices with which we function in South Africa and worldwide. So let's conscientize. And secondly, let's organize. We must develop policies, programs, plans, practices to overcome discrimination and the things that are in total conflict with the values of the Constitution of this country. And this is the most important part of our heritage, that our Constitution says we all are committed to a life of dignity, a life of healing of the wounds of all people, a life of justice for all, freedom for all, a life where we celebrate our equality of worth, esteem, and dignity. So let us organize to serve that life. And then thirdly, the M of what I nowadays call the .com, conscientize, organize, mobilize. The M means we must master all our resources, intellectual resources, cultural resources, art resources, monetary resources as well, to say, let's build a world, a campus, a community, a society where there's hybridity, where there's mingling in service of justice for all.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us. And today, certainly, the perfect opportunity for us to consider what it means to mingle and to tread very sensitively and carefully in each other's spaces to get to know our fellow South Africans. That was Professor Nico Koopman, Vice-Rector for Social Impact, Transformation and Personnel at Stellenbosch University.